In this video, I'll be analyzing my most recent ranked game I played on McGinnis. Similar to my last video, I'll be reviewing all my decision making throughout the game. I haven't played McGinnis much lately, so there definitely will be some mistakes in here. I chose this game in particular because I definitely did not play perfectly, but ultimately you learn more from what you did wrong than what you did right. So hopefully critiquing my own blunders in this match can provide some valuable information for your own games. I start the match off by offering up my solo lane on yellow. Generally, I don't prefer the solo lane unless I'm playing a carry. I typically play support and utility heroes like McGinnis and Mo and Krill, so I want to be in one of the center lanes so I can impact the map and help my teammates more. Coincidentally, I'm actually laning with a Mo and Krill here, and we're versus a Lash and Kelvin. My goal for this lane phase is to shove waves as hard as possible. This is McGinnis' primary strength at early levels, and I want to take advantage of this. Mo and Krill is also a strong lane bully, so we'll be pushing up to their Guardian as much as we can to look for a dive. For those curious, the average rank in this game is about Phantom 6. Somehow I only went up one subdivision from last week. It's probably my own fault because I only played a total of 15 ranked games. Unfortunately, this game starts off pretty rough because our Vindicta dies and DCs before hitting a single trooper. We don't notice right away, but as soon as we do, we pause and just hope she comes back. We're not sure if she rage quit or just had her internet cut out. After exhausting all 3 pauses, she actually does come back. But now we're already down 2,000 souls and a Guardian before the 3-minute mark. Not the greatest start to a winning match, but at least it's not 5v6. You can see this healer trooper on the right gets pretty bored as well. Even though I want to be pushing into them, having the enemy wave right here isn't too bad. Due to bullet travel time, being right next to the enemy troopers like this makes denying much easier. As this next wave crashes, I'm able to get a wall off between Lash and Kelvin. And because I have wall at tier 1, I'm able to shred him with the 15% damage buff plus stamina removal. He's close to dead by the time he reaches cover, then it's a pretty easy dive from there. In hindsight, this was pretty risky. I wasn't aware that Mo was nowhere near me when I went for this dive. I should have calmed, hey, we can definitely dive them, stay with me at their Guardian. This just shows how even if a play looks glaringly obvious to you, it's always better to fully communicate your intentions because you never know what your teammates are thinking. Mo goes for an alt play here, but the wave isn't crashed yet, so it's hard for me to follow up in time. Even so, I get some value from my ultimate by zoning them off their Guardian. Mo goes very deep here, and I think I make the right play to not follow and just continue pushing waves. Extending out to try to help him could have easily got us both killed. Here's his current POV. You can see I picked up a slowing hex pretty early. This item is great on literally any hero, but particularly effective on McGinnis ult build, which is what I'm going for here. The hex prevents any movement-based ability and slows. When you combine this with Wall, that removes stamina and gives damage amp, you can melt pretty much anyone you catch. This is actually my first time running this build. I believe it's Naked's Barrage build. Normally I build around McGinnis' gun or her turrets, or some mix of the two. I believe they nerfed this build slightly in a recent patch, but I still think it's fairly strong. In my opinion though, the strongest McGinnis builds are always hybrid. This way you can utilize her kit to the fullest. Mo gets a great pick on the Kelvin here as he speeds back to lane. We kill him while he's in combo so he's not able to pop dome. Our constant pressure on the Guardian allows us to take it down before the 7-minute mark, which should give us a lot more space to control the map. Typically, I don't like to push up to walkers early unless the nearby Guardians are already down. Especially as McGinnis, you can get collapsed on pretty easy. Now that we've taken down the Guardian in our lane, I look to the side lane to do the same thing. McGinnis is one of those heroes that can just help anyone push a Guardian pretty fast, especially if you're ahead. You can just walk up, plop your turrets down, put a wall up, maybe pop your ult, and the enemy team can't do much. Here you can see the strength of the slowing hex plus wall combo. You see I pick up an early Majestic Leap. This is because we took Guardian very early, and I want to snowball the rest of the map as much as possible. It becomes painfully obvious this is the first time I'm using this build as I leap directly into a structure above me. I'm not a big Majestic Leap user, so I'm still getting used to it. Always gotta check for the vertical clearance. Again, I'm just rotating from lane to lane, helping teammates push these Guardians. Here I make a pretty obvious mistake. You can't use any items while your wall is still coming out. It will just stop your wall as soon as you use the ability. In this case, I would need to use Slowing Hex before using wall at all. Here you can see how strong your ult is if you level it up early. I just kinda randomly pop it to take out the Guardian and zone the haze, but I end up getting a kill as well, even with the haze hitting her sleep. We get a really nice pick on Lash here. After this, I made my first pretty large blunder of the game. I keep pushing for some reason here. I know there's at least one enemy still defending their walker, and at least a few enemies are missing. I should have just moved on and went for mid buffs which were spawning in a few seconds. Instead, I feed Kelvin close to 1,000 souls. This is a classic example of overextending. You can't always immediately capitalize off every kill. Sometimes all you can do is get an enemy off the map for a few seconds and continue your soul farm. Also, you should always be checking the game time. If I saw the buffs respawning, I may have backed off earlier. That being said, this is a mistake we all will continue to make. Learning the perfect balance of aggression and restraint is a continuous process. A lot of the time, it'll involve trial and error and limit testing. Here, I could go to middle lane and support in that large fight. That may have been a fine play, but I choose to go to the side lane instead. This is because I know we can easily win a 2v1 against Infernus and take this Guardian while that fight is happening. After we secure this Guardian, I make the second big mistake of this game. We already secured the objective here, but I linger way too long without doing much. I just kind of duel the Paradox for a while. More teammates show up and I end up dying. I had multiple opportunities to back off, but I don't. Even if I kill the Paradox here, it's unlikely I get much out of it because the lane isn't pushed up. The right play would have been to leave immediately after taking the Guardian and reset. This is the kind of unnecessary fighting that turns easy wins into coin flips. I follow up that death by needlessly chasing the Infernus. My ultimate isn't up, so I don't have much kill pressure anyway, so I shouldn't waste my time chasing this guy. It's hard not to make tilted plays like this once in a while, but as long as you recognize you're doing it, you should be able to correct it. Luckily, I realize what I'm doing and go back to just farming the lane. Right here, I go for a catch on the Paradox. It was a solid attempt, but I should have led with wall over just barrage. Then, all that really happens is Viscus gets a really clutch cube on me, and then both teams disengage, although we do end up getting one kill on the Infernus. At this point in the game, the match is relatively even. We have a modest gold lead and are up a few structures. But it's important we pressure this advantage because this lead could evaporate pretty quickly. This is why you see our team grouping here to go for an urn run. Right here, a fight breaks out, but ultimately my goal isn't to get kills. My ultimate goal is to escort the urn carrier to the altar. Right here, I'm pushing out the lanes to make room for the urn carrier. My goal is to create space and hopefully allow Viscus to sneak the urn. Ideally, I don't feed the enemy team while doing it. Unfortunately, we can tell the enemy team is heavily contesting urn. We comm over voice and in chat to push other lanes while we bait the turn in. This way, even if we don't get the urn, we could potentially get other objectives. After some of their teammates rotate away to respond to our teammates pressuring their walkers, we push up on the altar and force the remaining enemies back so we can turn in the soul urn. This was a solid macro play by our whole team and turns our 3k soul lead into a 9k soul lead. Of course, plays like this only work if you can trust your teammates. Without team coordination and communication, plays like this are pretty hard. Soul urn plays can easily backfire. If we somehow turned over the soul urn to them, this would turn our 9k soul lead into their 6k soul lead. This fight really helps advance our lead. I start with a solid pick on the Talon. Then Viscous gets a very clutch cube again. It negates both Lash's ultimate and the Walker Slam. Then I'm able to interrupt Haze's ult with my wall. Winning fights like this not only increase your soul lead, but give you a huge mental advantage as well. For the enemy team, losing a fight that's essentially 2v3 can be pretty tilting. Also, because we're outnumbered here, it usually means that somewhere else on the map, our team can outnumber them. Like you see here on the side lane, our Mirage and Vindicta are able to 2v1 the Paradox. This flank was almost very effective. I was just a little too early, and I get collapsed on by the enemy team before my team shows up. I get a tiny bit of value from my turrets, and thankfully my team shows up and it ends up being a 1-for-1. We have the soul urn here, but our intention isn't necessarily to turn it in. We have a significant lead, so ultimately our goal is to force a 6v6 fight. After winning this fight, we have two options, go for mid-boss or go for shrines. But in this case, we're able to do both. I shoved the side lane right before this fight, so getting shrines shouldn't be an issue. So as long as we have enough damage to take down mid-boss, we can do both. This is something I don't see enough players going for. If you have the correct positioning and coordination, you can secure multiple objectives after a full team wipe. Our team decides to play really safe here, so we wait for the mid buffs to spawn so we can fight with those as well. This is the kind of play that you can only really make if you're very ahead. Also, I have rejuve, so even if we trade, the shortened respawn timers give us a massive advantage. I basically just jump into the enemy base and pop my ultimate with Unstoppable. My goal is to create space while getting off as much AoE damage as possible. I have a lot of survivability from Diviner's Kevlar and Unstoppable, and I'm able to bait Lash to waste his ult on me. This provides my team the space to push into their base. And that's pretty much it. We push to finish their patron and end the game. Let me know what you think of this format. I tried to not cut anything out and just speed up parts without much happening. Also, let me know if there are things I should be focusing on more, or if you'd like to see me cover any specific topics. If you're interested in this type of gameplay, I regularly stream Deadlock, either here or on Twitch. And of course, if you like these type of commentaries, be sure to like and sub. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.